Hey everyone, Lee here from Stringfield Ridge Farm. One of my daughters, the one that's in the Air Force, she contacted me wanting to know if I could make her something for Christmas so she could hang on her wall. So that's what I've been working on. I went out, I found a long mulberry limb. They grow pretty straight and long, good for this. Willow is great for it. You can actually bend it without breaking it. Be great for it. Anyhow, I went out and I cut the limb. I scraped it down, and after I done that, I made a hoop out of it. As you can see, I've already done the hoop. I just tied it together for a while and wrapped it with cordage, crisscrossed it several times to get the hoop shape. After I got it bent, laid it flat, put something heavy on it out here in the shed with the heat on so that it would go on ahead and dry. Right at about a week, took it apart. I don't know if you can see where I've already tied it together up there, but I just tapered the top part down this way, the bottom part this way, so that it would fasten together. Put some wood glue in there, wrapped it up, took it apart, smoothed it all down, and put imitation sinew on there. And what she is wanting me to make her is a dream catcher. And I have a simple way that I do my webbing. I will show you in this video how I do my webbing in a dream catcher. This is the way that I do my webbing. It's simple, it's easy, and they come out beautiful. I've done this part up here with a quick demonstration to where there is no knots. It's not tied anywhere on there, even with the artificial sinew. It's called lashing. Some people might know what that is, some might not, so I'm going to show you a quick demonstration. Alright, I'm going to demonstrate the lashing that I done, which mine, it was split right here, so it was put together. This is just a straight down. What you do is take a piece of your string, you lay it across, then you come back and you loop over so that you have a loop down on one end. And when you do that, then you come back and you go down a little bit, and then you start coming back and just fashion it all in together. Just keep wrapping it around and work your way all the way down through there, which I'm not going to do. And I ain't going to pull my knife out. I've got a flake right over here. I cut that off with that flake. I'm sorry, I'm probably moving all over the place. But then you take this end of the string, you put it through that loop right there. You grab this end and you start pulling. And whenever you pull it, it ends up pulling that string up inside there where it's already been wrapped around. And then you just clip off the ends. It's tight, it's secure, it does not move. So you can lash arrow points on arrows that way, your fletching, any of that. after I've gotten done, I measured it, and it's actually like 13 1/4, somewhere in that area. So I went around on the back side and put just a small point with a pencil around 2.5 to 2 3/4 inches all the way around to try to keep my first row right there in the same area of for my first part of the webbing, so it all comes out and looks very close to the same, depending on what size of a hoop you make. Okay, I cut me a piece of this sinew off. It's probably about 15, maybe 20 foot long. Tied me a little knot on the end there. Just like I said, it does slip. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this around a couple times, and then I'm going to also tie it in a knot around the same string a couple of times, right there around one of my little marks, and then pull it a few times till it gets that knot down there, and then tightens off good. But then I'm just gonna start going around, pulling my sinew through every so often, about where one of my spots would be. Kind of wrap around and come back around on the other side of the string, on the inside of it. And I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm going to leave me probably about like that. Yeah, about 1.5 fingers, something like that. Just enough to make a little bit of a loop. Nothing too tight, nothing too loose. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. And finish back up on the other side. And I'll show you once I get there. Okay. I made it all the way around. And I started doing my webbing part. This is how I do my webbing. I went all the way around, and once you start going around, each one of these, okay, you can see whereabouts that there was. I went in there, so now I went around for the second time. Now I'm coming around the third time, and each one of these here loops underneath, well, right there you can see my first one, and I went in there and I went all the way around like that, and now I'm coming back with my third round, and then I'm going right back into the next one like that, and then I'll go back in there, and then I'll go in there, and I'll keep doing that. I will keep it loose. I don't want to tighten anything up right now. Just going around like this. Just keeping it loose, making sure that I'm going in the right spots in there. And I will just keep going around and going around until I use up all my string here. Once I pull this a little bit, you will definitely be able to see where the magic is in this. But as you can see, the web is coming together. But yes, I am gonna have to add a little bit of string here. And then I'll have to kind of move it around a little bit, and I'll show you here in just a second what I come up with. Okay, I got another piece tied on. Went around once. I'm fixing to finish this here up. Still got it kind of loose, not real tight. It's not real tight, but it's not real loose either. It's just enough to be able to help me see whereabouts my spots are for me to get into. And I'm going to finish going around through here several more times, and I'm going to finish up, and the webbing will be done. I've got this here much done just like it. So now we're going to grab this hair string, and we're going to pull it a little bit. See what happens. It's now it's tightening up some. It's definitely coming together some. Need to kind of stretch it here and there. Yeah. I had to remove a little bit here, there, set into place whereabouts it needs to be once it is done. But it is definitely coming together like it needs to. So I'm gonna finish this there thing up, is what I'm fixing. I'm gonna finish up this webbing, and I finally pulled it, drawed it shut. It's pretty tight now. It's actually a tight dream catcher. It's just a little hole in there. Got to clip a few little things off here and there, and finish wrapping this up in here. I will just take this piece right here, and I'll thread back through a few different times, and then kind of lash it off in there to keep it from backing off or going anywhere. So okay, I'm trying to finish up on my daughter's dream catcher a little bit, putting the beads and the feathers on there right now. Okay, the way that I do that, I slide 2 beads up on my string, and then I will take and I'll thread it back through there so that it makes a loop. Okay, now that I got them offset there, I've got a little bit of a loop left there. I'll take this feather, a small one, and I'll break that quill over so I can stick it inside there, and then be able to pull this string here to pull that loop up inside that bottom bead. The bigger feather, I'll just stick the quill all the way up into both the beads, and that should be tight enough with both of them feathers to keep it all in there. If you have beads with a little bit bigger holes, you can use more feathers. You can actually put 2 or 3 feathers in this loop and pull them up in there at the same time, however you want to do. Okay, I brought the dream catcher in. I hung it from a light switch up there. Figure it'd show up better in here on the wall. So that is the dream catcher.